Hi, I'm Charcy Curtis. Some of you may know me as Sister Diva out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And this is the IM4GOD Movement podcast. Today, I have a special guest. I have my brother, Terrell, here with me. And I'm going to give him a chance to explain to who he is and what he got going on so y'all can feel like y'all know him a little better. Terrell, can you explain?
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, my name is General Guilez. I go by the moniker General Guilez. I'm an artist. I'm a CEO. And I'm just a person that's very open-minded and well-grounded. And, you know, I'm here.
Can you give them information how to get in contact with you?
Oh, yeah. You can follow me on Facebook as Terrell Gibbs. On Instagram, it is IGE Gals, and everything else, as far as Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music, and the things of that nature it would be under General Gals.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get right into the questions because I know we got so much to talk about and you got so much to say. So the first question will be, if you can go back in time, what would be the one thing you could change in your life if you could, and why?
The one thing that I would go back and change, and the reason I would change it, was I would come to grips with my inner voice, my voice more, because I was very shallow as a kid and I would hold things back that may have changed a lot of situations, you know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of people in my community, they believed in me. They just knew that I was like that one kid that, hey, this is him. And I did not take on that responsibility well because due to, you know, some tragic things, some tragedies that I encountered early on in life, it kind of made me an introvert. And by doing so, you know, I kept a lot of things to myself and I could have been or should have been more vocal. And by doing so, you know, like I say, I could have blessed a lot of situations, gave people, you know, better decisions and, you know, better insight. And for that reason, I wish I would have been more vocal as a younger gentleman. Okay.
If you could go back to, you know, if you had one wish as far as a man telling you something when that younger boy, what would that be?
First and foremost, if you do the crime, then you have to pay the time or do the time. Jail is not fun. The streets isn't everything that they're, you know, that you see. Like a lot of this stuff is smoke and mirrors, like, because coming up, you may see, like even today, you may see the so-called allure in the drug game. So, but what you don't see is that a lot of these guys are living, you know, dollar to dollar, transaction to transaction with no foundation, nothing set aside for the rainy days. So I wish that, you know, the older guys, older gentlemen, or, you know, father figure would have told me that, you know, everything that glitters isn't gold, you know.
So your father, it was not.
He was there, but with him being there, he still fell to the same devils that we were entertaining. So I had a father, love him to death, rest in peace, Michael Dwayne Melvin, and he taught me a lot. But I had to learn these lessons in the streets and not in the home, where they should have begun. And I'm not knocking anybody that it didn't, because that, you know, sometimes
it's no parent book.
Right, it's no parent book.
And it's no right or wrong way.
And then it's a lot of hard-headed children, which I was one of those. And so in spite of all of that, you know, back in those days, they say it takes a village to raise a child.
That's what we're missing now.
And everybody tried to pour into me. But, you know, early on, I was like, I just want to have fun. I just want to, you know, hang with the guys. I just want to, you know, see the girls. I just want to make a little money, you know. So a lot of stuff I was hearing, but I didn't necessarily take heed to until later on in life.
Okay. So what would you tell that young boy that's looking for some type of, you know, direction?
I would tell him in today's world that fake is the new real, first and foremost.
Yeah.
So anything that is fake and seems real is actually really fake. You know, if that makes any sense to you. I would tell him to, early on in life, find out and figure what his passions is. Just dream, have goals. To, you know, set unlimited boundaries on yourself and just act on them, because, you know, what another person does or says doesn't necessarily become reality unless you take that on and allow it to be your reality. It's only a perception. So perception is not reality. Come face to face with yourself and what you would, you know, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, who would you want to be, you know, who are good role models or people to follow, and you just, you know, get out here, man, and do what it is that you have to do for yourself. Always stay respectful, because respect will take you a long way, and, you know, honor your elders, you know, and take things in, even if you don't necessarily, you know, lean towards those opinions. Just hear them out, and as you go through your walk, you'll start to see things play out, and then you'll be able to already have the cards instead of having to go buy a deck of cards. Just use the ones that you was already given.
Okay, what would you say that moment was like first time you realized God was real?
Oh, now it was for one, it was scary.
Okay.
For two, couldn't have been nobody but God. But me and my brother, we was coming back from Winston-Salem, and we was traveling, I would say, eastbound on I-40. And I know I was speeding. I drive pretty aggressive, pretty fast. You know, I really have a need for speed. So out of nowhere, a deer just jumps out in front of the car. But in that moment, God sheltered me. He actually put me in a realm of consciousness that I knew I was really having an out-of-body experience. Everything slowed down. So it gave me, in that split second, I had like minutes to make a decision on how me and this deer was not going to make contact. And, you know, he actually blessed me in that moment and allowed that collision not to happen. And like I say, we was going down the road, blasting music. I turned the music down and look over to my brother, and I tell him, I say, listen, now that's God. And from that moment forth, this is how I looked at it. I'm like, okay, even if I was a cat and I had 9 lives, how many do I have left? And with looking at life that way and understanding that it was a greater force outside of myself that saved me in that moment, then it made me make better decisions. Now, they didn't come instantaneously, but over time, I'm just a work in progress, and I trust the process at this point in my life.
Okay. How did you turn your pain into power?
Okay. Not only power, but passion as well, which helps me push on towards that power. But I just take it, you know, I see it for what it's worth. I deal with it in that moment. And then I take and find ways to take these experiences and build on them, expound on them. I start from the ground up with it. Okay, it hurts today, it might hurt tomorrow. By next Friday, I feel a little better. Now, what can I do now to never experience that pain again? You know, some things are in your control, a lot of things are out of your control. But you know, pain for the most part is it comes with growth, because a lot of people who haven't experienced anything are still at their mom's house on the couch. Like, they don't know what it is to be put out. They don't know what it is to, you know, have to get out here and work a 9 to 5 or hustle and bustle. It's just, you know, without those experience, without those painful and sometimes traumatic events, then life could be a bore. So you have to take, you know, every chance that you can and use what you've been given, the good and the bad, to make a better you.
Yeah, I like to tell people, you know, even when you're in pain, that's the best time to call on God.
Right.
Because that's when He's going to show His true power.
Exactly.
You know, but what would you say is more important to you, impressing or impacting people? Impressing or
impacting people? Well, I would go with the latter, because when you do things that leaves an impact on, you know, an individual's life, then you reap the benefits of being, you know, just being right, doing the right things, leading people the right way, you know, just being a change, being a difference. And coming from where I come from, you know, I've seen a lot of letdown. I've seen a lot of, you know, broken hearts. I've seen a lot of shattered dreams. So for me to be sitting here in front of you on this camera and actually knowing that somebody seeing me in this position, I could actually alter the duration of their life by saying, well, look, you know, I listen to dude's music, or I've seen him here, or I heard this or this or that, but hey, I actually see him on TV. He has to be doing something if he's in a situation where he can share and change things. Now, to impress a person, you're really just wasting energy, because people draw more to your spirit than your cars, your materials, you know, and things of that such, because like spirit is everlasting. And if you, every time you come and you show up and you have this certain energy about yourself and this certain aura, then like the old folks say, you actually start glowing and illuminating, and that makes you the one. That makes you the one. And with that, there's no need to try to get somebody's attention or go out of your way to prove a point when, you know, the true essence of that is inside. And then once this starts to
start feeding it.
Right. When you start feeding it and it starts coming out, then you instantly make and cause impact, because people see the difference of where you begin from your humble beginnings to where you are today, and the journey and the process and the progress you made. So it's always better to be impactful and, you know, to be real with yourself than to try to impress others that, hey, may be here today, maybe tomorrow, like the old saying goes, hey, you know, everybody's your friend when you have things. And sooner you're out of those things, they're out of here. So, you know, just be true to yourself and try to live an impactful life enough that you can inspire somebody else to want to be themselves.
Like I like to tell, you know, people what they should know, that all of us have greatness that God put in every one of us. And we have to feed that greatness with the word. And then that's why when it grows and it becomes something that you would never thought of, but He knows His plans is not ours. But at the same time, even like when you said something about the light, I like to call that light, I love God's light over stage light.
Over stage light, right.
You know, stage light, when the lights are down, that's it.
Right.
But when you talk about God light, that's everywhere you go. Even when you don't want to be seen, you're going to be seen.
And it's funny that you use that analogy, because I was just telling my grandmother, I mean, well, not my grandmother, but my elderly aunt the other day, like, if anybody knows me, then they know that I'm a kind of a fashionista. You know, I'm into fashion a lot, and I like sneakers. I have a fetish for sneakers. So when I used to wear my shoes and dirty them up, now under the artificial light, this man-made light, they would look clean. When I take them out into God's light and these sun rays, and I see all this stuff that I missed. So no light is better than God's light.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, it comes with growth, because we both can say we ain't always been here, but you know, He has a way of taking you from one spot and take you to this spot.
Right.
And then you know how we might slide back just a little bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then He snatch you back again. And then you be like, okay, God, but just give me one more second, because I just feel like I want to go this way right for a second.
Right.
But then when He might let you just dab a little bit, but trust me, you're going to go back, because you already know what it's like to go, what the old is.
Right.
But getting to know the new you, that's something that you're not expecting.
Right.
And it was a lot of us, like I can say myself, ran from it. You know, and we have to get to a point to just say, okay, God, whatever it is you want, I'm all for it. And I mean, just accepting that's just like a breath of fresh air.
Yes, it is. I was actually listening to this new speaker earlier, and he was saying that 99% of the stuff we do right, but it's that 1%. It's what sways you from one place to another. It's the one. It's the thing that that's when you do that slide to the side or slide to the back, because in all actuality, a lot of the things you're doing are the right things to do, and this one thing that is out of place, like this one hair. You know how this is with your women. This one hair that's out of place. You're not walking out that door to that one until it's fixed.
Right.
So it's the same thing on a spiritual journey. You have to let God fix you, or allow you to look in this mirror and see what is offset about my look. Right. And when I say your look, I'm not talking about your physical appearance, but your spiritual essence, your spiritual presence. What is wrong with this? Or is it anything that I can do to get more in tune with Father God, Mother Nature, as well as myself?
Right. You know, like I said before, you were saying that you're going to start something for the youth.
Yes.
Young men, for them men out there, the young men that's looking for some type of man to look up to, or guidance or whatever. He's going to have something going on for us. So y'all keep in tune. You never know what he got going on. And if you had one thing to tell the people, what would it be?
Go for it. And what I mean by go for it is dream, and dream big. Dream big enough that if you don't reach that dream, you've still achieved. You know, you gotta, I was just reading a book called The 10X Rule, and that's the gist of the book, is if you want to be successful, you have to do things 10 times more than the people who just want to be average.
Right.
And, you know, average is just
I like to say it's no work.
It's no work. You feel what I'm saying?
Blending in with the rest of the people.
It's you just blending in.
Yeah.
So what I would like to tell that individual who needs a seed planted in them, it would be to just go for it. Push yourself to the max, and positivity and what God has for you, nobody can stop.
Nobody.
Nobody can stop.
No. I want to tell you. Well, I got to ask you, what, you know, I got the brand IM4GOD, but what does IM4GOD mean to you personally?
Okay, IM4GOD to me personally means that perception isn't my reality, and other people's perceptions could not keep me from loving the oneness of God. Right. And just because I may do something that you may not, you know, partake in, or you might not believe in, it doesn't mean that my love for God and my understanding with God is just different than yours.
Right.
So when I say I'm for God, then I mean that I am willing to sacrifice some things. I am willing to submit to his will. I know that he is the greatest force above, below, and around us, and that I'm not perfect.
Right.
So I will deal in imperfection, and I will also turn around and repent and ask for forgiveness and guidance to where it is that God will want to take me, because, you know, he's the master designer. Before there was roads, he had a roadmap.
Yes.
You know, before there was cars, he had a way to get you from here to there. So, you know, me being for God is me just being humble within myself, being obedient, reading my word, studying my word, showing myself approved, and just putting my best foot forward.
Okay. I want to tell you thank you so much for fitting me in your busy schedule.
You're welcome.
And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I cannot wait to see what God is going to plant your feet at and how God is going to just let your light shine. Well, he already let it shine, but it's going to be so bright, people going to put some shades on, be about blind. In fact, the blind going to be able to see.
Right, the blind going to be able to see.
The blind going to be able to see. But thank you again, and thank y'all for tuning in. And you just never know who we're going to have on here. And like we always say, we love you, but God loves you more.